Rumble, come and take a seat. With the SDN podcast, you can't be beat. It's a wrestling party, let the good times roll. With every single episode, we're touching your soul.
Welcome, everyone. Today we have a very special guest, a man who's done it all in the world of professional wrestling, former WWE personality, international star, and now the driving force behind Three Legacy Wrestling, Ricardo Rodriguez. Ricardo, thanks for joining us.
Beyond grateful, and I appreciate everything that you mentioned, the accolades, your checks in the mail. So thank you for that. I appreciate that.
Awesome, man. It's a real honor to have you in the show. But let's jump right into it. Because the Red Rose Rumble is coming to Lancaster County on September 6th at the Penn Medicine Park, right? Yeah, Penn Medicine Park. And man, the town is buzzing about this.
That's what I would like for it to buzz. Sorry, I just got the camera out of focus, so let me redo that one again. Hold on. See if I can there. No, yeah, there it is.
There it is.
So yeah, no, it's been an awesome time the last 3 years that I've been here in Lancaster. It's been a hell of a journey since we opened up Three Legacies Wrestling, and I'm beyond grateful for the growth and development that we've been able to accomplish in this short time frame. And now we're here, man. Our third Red Rose Rumble, which is our WrestleMania, at the at the Penn Medicine Park. They changed the name.
Yes, it is.
Stadium, which is the home of the Lancaster Stormers, the local baseball team. And man, it's been nonstop hustle, and it's been nonstop just pushing and promoting and putting in the work and the effort. And every year it just continues to grow and grow and grow. So I'm very excited about that. And even just with the lineup that we have this year alone.
I know. I saw that, and that's one of the things that I wanted to ask you is like how did you choose this lineup? I mean, you got talent coming in, some legends, huge legends. You got guys like Chavo, who's, to me, growing up, Chavo was the Guerrero family, loved them. Tito Santana, you got EC3. Like, how do you manage this, man? Like, how?
So I'm very grateful that throughout my years and experience in the world of professional wrestling, I've made connections in a lot of different places. I'm very grateful for the bonds that I've developed with a lot of these wrestlers and talents over the years, and then even when some of the guys are like big names now, when they were still coming up, we got to cross paths and we stayed in touch over the years, and we. Obviously, now that I have this going on, I'm like, hey, man, would you be interested in doing this little thing that I'm doing? And thankfully, because of that, those past experiences, they were very happy to, and I'm very grateful that for this one, I mean, Savio Vega, right? So that alone,
Yes.
the legend, Savio, who is actually our current heavyweight champ. So that alone in itself, right, is awesome. So
Tio Savio.
Yeah, Tio Savio. So he'll be coming up from Puerto Rico that day, and that Chavo Guerrero, who coincidentally too was when I first got to WWE, it was on the car rides. It was myself, Alberto, and Chavo. So It was the three of us riding together. So we developed that friendship over the last 15 years. At this point now, 15 years since I've been friends with Chavo. EC3, who we were in FCW together. And obviously eventually he went to WWE, became his own entity in TNA and NWA now, who's now a former NWA champion. Callisto is another one too that I've known my entire career, for the most part, most of my career. We were the original Lucha Dragon, Tim and I. So I was his very first match in WWE actually too. So it's just one of those weird, awesome things. Zeta Steel, who's young but like has such a bright future ahead of her. We got to work together in MLW. I was her producer for a lot of stuff. So we developed that relationship and that friendship along the way, and then that partnership of wanting to work together. And then also that's just like the frosting of the cake. But then you have the meat and potatoes of the whole thing, the local talent that that we've been able to build a platform for them to excel and showcase their talents to hopefully get them to that next level once they get out of Lancaster and Three Legacies, whatever it may be. But you have your homegrown talent, which is my from here from my Three Legacies Wrestling Academy. Zoe Cannon and Naeem Brooks, Al Snook, Just Jay, Byron Simmons, Lady Glory, the whole array of them. And then you also have the also local outside talent, Brooke Keller, Towson Durant, Smiley, Darren Hardaway, guys that Jace Hawthorne, guys that have such incredible talent. And I'm very grateful that I've been able to build a platform, like I said, for them to be able to showcase their abilities.
Awesome, awesome. So yeah, listen, I've been trying to, even though I'm very local to the area. I live in Lancaster County.
Mm.
I've been trying to follow it, but I still, because I with my work schedule, I have still haven't had a chance to go to a show. But now that my schedule changed and everything, I'm gonna start going. So
The advantage too, though, is that you can also check them out on YouTube at Three Legacies Wrestling, and we do have the full shows. We have a lot of free content, but we also have the full shows just for 99 cents. 99 cents for the subscription. You can see the full shows, and you'll see the production value that how it has evolved over the last 2 years, thanks to a very awesome person by the name of Tariq Villegas with Lux Media and Design, who his touch and magic that he adds to the shows makes it so much better. So for just 99 cents, just subscribe. Every little bit helps because it always comes back to the industry.
hey, listen, I'm gonna do it. I'll do it.
There you go.
All right. So jumping back in, what can the fans expect from Red Rose Rumble on September 6th?
So the Red Rose Rumble to us is that's our big show. That's our WrestleMania. So in every year it's gotten better. The production value has gone from a level 1 to a level 5, and this is what we're going with now, something bigger, and that's a big part of the partnerships and the sponsors that we've been able to accumulate and develop throughout the time. So we have iHeartRadio, who's a big part that helps us out.
Oh,
Mike Miller at Mixta Productions, who, if you get a chance to check out either our show at the Zembo Shrine in Harrisburg or our event that we did at the Lebanon County, at the Lebanon Valley Expo Center back in March, just that production value in itself of the setup is incredible. And that's all thanks to Mike Miller, his team, and Mixta Productions.
cool, cool, cool. Now, the big one, right? To my understanding, the big match going on September 6th is going to be the Rumble match itself, because the winner gets a shot at
That's
the
obvious.
heavyweight champion Sabu.
Yeah.
Can you
So
give us
it,
any surprises or anything
Oh,
going on?
absolutely, absolutely. There's always been surprises. There's always been something special that comes through it, and I do believe that we've done a pretty good job in building up the Rumble match itself. So it's not just like another battle royale with just a bunch of students, just to kind of give them a spot, and it's an opportunity for everybody. So like last year, I was in it. And there was a couple of the guys that were in it of value. The very first year, Gene Snitsky was in it. Um,
Nice.
so it's built its equity, and
Yeah.
the last two winners of that Red Rose Rumble have gone on to win the championship. The first one being J.S. Hawthorne, the second one being Bill Bain, uh, and they both cashed in and they both won their titles. So
Nice.
yeah, the advantage of this one now is that it's kind of like a mix of the Royal Rumble mixed in with the Money in the Bank, where like whoever wins it has a year to cash it in. So it's a mix of the two. And then the advantage of this one is that we don't have to wait a year because they're gonna have to do it that same night.
That's a great concept, man. I truly love that idea. The fact that you're combining two of them. Actually, if you think about it, it's two of the best, in my opinion, two of the best PLEs that WWE has.
Oh yeah,
The
the
Royal
Rumble.
Rumble has always been one of my favorites, and you always get that excitement from Money in the Bank because you get like the briefcase and all that. So now you're getting both of them combined, man. That's great.
Yeah, because
That's
then
actually really great.
when we watch Money in the Bank, you're like, all right, who's gonna be the next guy that they're gonna be pushing, right?
And,
Uh,
and, and you know what? The thing that gets me is that us as fans, we're always saying, "Well, it's definitely gonna be this one,"
and
and
then
it's never that person. I'll never forget the day that I went to the one in Connecticut, and everybody was like, "Ali's gonna win it. Ali's gonna win it." Next thing you know, you got Brock Lesnar coming out. You're like, "Wait, what the heck just happened?" You know what I mean?
The swerve.
So, but jumping back into the Red Rose Rumble, you're actually having a match that day as well. You're tagging with Chavo.
Yeah. So I was in Italy a couple months ago in July. Yeah, in July I was in Italy, and he was a part of that event too. So it was myself, Alberto, Rhino, Chavo. Um, who else was on that? Eugene was on that too. Um, and and I saw Chavo and I was like, hey man, I have this thing coming up. Would you be interested in being a part of it? And he's like, yeah. So then it just kind of went from there. Um, so yeah, so I told him, I was like, I have these two kids that they're really talented, they're really good. Um, I feel like they just need that extra little to get them to that next level. So it'll be myself, Ricardo Rodriguez versus and Chavo Guerrero versus Trace Parker and Tom Mitchell of Nice and Smooth. And those two are just they're these young talented individuals that as a tag team, individually they're just awesome, and as a tag team they're even bigger and greater. So I'm very grateful that we have this again. And go back to the same thing. We're very grateful that we have this platform that we're able to offer these young talent something to be able to showcase their abilities and then get them to the next level, whatever that may be. So
Yeah, no,
that's definitely one to check out. There's a whole array of matches that are so worth it by themselves.
no, I know. I saw that you also have Easy Moreno versus
Yes.
Zeta
Zeta
Steel.
Steel. Zeta
Yeah,
Steel a WWE ID uh, talent at the moment. She was actually the very first talent that got announced as the WWE ID. And as I mentioned previously, coincidentally, I used to work with her at MLW. I produced some of her stuff back then, and we got to work together closely for what was almost like a year, roughly, maybe. Um, so yeah, so there's that, and then Izzy is a wild story in itself because a lot of fans in WWE knew her as the Bailey Girl
yeah,
when she was like 12, 13 back then,
yeah.
and she started training, and then obviously now that she's 18, she's been able to do a lot of independent events. But the interesting thing about Izzy is that uh, when she was in Orlando, she was going to all the schools that I was a part of, but she was going right after I had left them. So it was like she was like almost on my footsteps along the way. So in Florida, in Texas, and other places, as soon as I like shortly after I had left, she would end up popping in. So when I reached out to her, I was like, hey, we've sort of virtually known each other because you trained with a lot of the kids that I trained, so we kind of know each other in that way. Um, would you be interested in coming up? For this way we kind of finally meet in person, and yeah, so she'll be coming up here. She'll be wrestling Zeta Steel. So that'll be a whole awesome match in itself. They already have a best of two series going on, so they got one more to complete the trifecta.
Oh, so there you go. It's gonna happen there.
Yep,
Nice. And I'm gonna be there. Love
yep.
it. So one question that I always like to ask is, you've been in WWE. You've been all over the world. Like I remember seeing you also being a trainer for, was it Khalees, Great Khalees in
I
India.
lived in India and I lived in Egypt. So I opened up a school in Egypt as well.
So so what brings you down here to Lancaster County?
So this is a story that I've been very open about. I after I left WWE, I went through a very big drug and alcohol substance abuse issue, um,
Okay.
and I just kind of went. The COVID years were not a good one for me. For a lot of folks, right? There was nothing going on, and everything shut down. So obviously, we weren't traveling anymore. We weren't wrestling anymore. So I fell very heavily into the substance abuse, and ultimately ended up coming up to Lancaster for rehab, and big shout out to Blueprints for Addiction Recovery because they are the ones that set me straight. And when I got out, my business partner and I, we just kind of started chatting, and Christopher Dreisbach and I just were like, hey, let's do this. Ultimately, what happened was he knew my story as a whole, and then I just had to fill them in on the little details, and I basically said like, listen, I've ran schools. I have all these people under my umbrella that have gone through through me at a certain point in their careers, and now they're doing this. And then and I've ran operations, I've ran shows, I've ran big shows, uh, and schools, but none of them were ever mine. So then Chris goes basically, well, why don't you start your own thing? And I was like, well, I don't have the fund. He's like, well, we'll figure that out. Let's make this happen. And sure enough, this idea was tossed out in June. I got the keys to the school in August.
Oh
Um,
wow.
yeah, so it was like 2 months worth of just like, okay, well, this is happening. Um, and then 3 years later, man, we're going and we're here. And yeah, it's been nonstop. Like I said, the growth of this whole thing has been incredible.
I love it. I love it. Because there's one thing that like I used to be in the business back, but I used to be always in New Jersey,
Hmm.
and the travel back and forth, right? And as I got older, I'm like, I don't want to do the traveling anymore. I don't want to go nowhere. But there was nothing ever here in this area. The closest thing we had was the Wassamoan School in Allentown.
Hmm.
And to me, I was still like, that's a drive. I'm not going anywhere.
Sure, sure, sure.
But it is great that we have something here in Lancaster County, because there's a lot of fans here.
There are.
And I know you know because I've seen the pictures and the videos of the places packed and everything. What does it mean to you to be able to open a school, right, or in a place where there was nothing, and turn it into what it is today? Because it, from like I said, I talk to people that I work with and everything, and they all know about the school. And whenever they have the chance, they go. We just like again, like I said, our work schedules is
Mhm.
weekends is like we all work.
It's rewarding. It absolutely is rewarding because it kind of gives you a bit of a pat on the back that whatever it is that we're doing is working to a sense. Because none of this is easy, right? I mean,
No,
building, creating your own business, and then when I've never done it before, um, is not easy. And then I'm just kind of figured out along the way. I have no clue what I'm doing. I'm just kind of I'll take it day by day and stride by stride. But I think I have an idea. I think there's a concept in there, and I'm taking all the steps I think necessary, and hopefully in the right way. I'm sure I've messed up along the way. I know I have. I know I have. I know I've made mistakes. But then I take a step back and I learn from it and I move forward. But it's very rewarding to see like the fans that come in and just again, like I said, in the short 3 years that we've been around, just a growth that has happened because of all this. And but a lot of it also goes into the hustle that myself, Christopher Dreisbach, Bobby Gane, and then Ronnie all put into it, and it's nonstop. And that's the thing; it's nonstop. We do a lot of charitable events. We get the community involved. We work a lot with like the Boys and Girls Club, a Power Packs project. We do a lot of stuff with the addiction recovery side, with the homeless shelters. We do a lot of stuff with the food banks. Um, so that also helps too, because and then again I go back into my time in the addiction recovery side or the addiction side. There was a lot of resources that I was using when I was in my deepest BS time.
yeah,
Um, there was a lot of like community resources that I was using, and because I needed it, because I didn't have anywhere to go. So now that I have this platform, I have this ability to be able to give back to those community events or those charitable committees and groups and entities. I'm able to give them back bits and pieces of what I took back then.
that dude, that's amazing. Um, hearing that, like I didn't know that aspect of you. Like I didn't know that. So
Mhm.
like I knew about the stuff, the addiction and all that stuff, but about the community service that you're doing with the homeless shelter, that's to me, that's thank you. That's actually great. That's actually really great and
They need
great
the
for the
help.
community.
Yeah, they need
Anything
the help
helps.
because yeah, we have to help each other out.
Yeah.
And if like I said, the biggest reason why is because during my time, I took a lot from people, and I took a lot from the resources that I needed because I was down the dumps. So now I'm able to give it back to them.
Absolutely. Well, next time you're doing something like that, hit me up. I would love to be there. I would love to help out as well.
So
Uh,
actually, coincidentally, at the Rumble, we're collecting food and stuff for the Power Packs project. Um, so I can share that info with you a little later after this.
absolutely. Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay. So you 3 years. 3 years. It might not seem long, but for you that you're the driving force behind this, it might be like an eternity, right?
Yeah.
What are the goals for you for Three Legacy Wrestling?
Uh, so I have a lot of long-term goals and I have a lot of short-term goals. And in order to get to the long-term goal, I have to give myself like individual small checkpoints that I have to accomplish before I get to that big one. Um,
Absolutely.
and then obviously right now, my main focus right now is the Rebels Rumble. So that's where I'm at right now. And my goal right now is to make that as successful as possibly you can, leave the fans happy, and then from there move on to our October event, which is October 11th at Middlesbrough University, called Relentless, and those tickets will be on sale the day of the Rumble. But my main goal right now is that to have the best possible experience for the fans, so that they can go and be like, hey guys, I just checked out this wrestling thing. Um, you guys should come check it out next time around, because that's something that I'm very proud of that we're able to do, is make believers out of those that doubted us, or out of those that doubted the industry. Because we're constantly going out and meeting people. I was just out flyering before I got on this call with you. And there was a couple folks that I gave a flyer to, and they're like, "Oh, wrestling, whatever, right?" And I was like, "No, no, just check it out. Just come check it out." And it never fails. When they come in, they check it out. Within the first match, they're jumping and screaming, and they're excited and riled up. And I love that, because then we turn them into believers.
Yep.
So that's the ultimate goal. And then the way that I see it is, I don't know how many people there are here in the city. Let's just, for hoops and giggles, let's just say there's 500. I know there's more, but let's just say there's 500,000 people, right?
Yeah.
At our events, we're typically drawing about 500. So that means there's still like 400,000 or 409, 99, whatever, 100,000, whatever left. So I have to turn all those into believers of Three Legacies Wrestling. And then, and if I can't, I mean, there's still millions and billions out there that I want to turn them into our social media.
Absolutely. See, and the thing about professional wrestling is that what a time to be a fan. You always
Right.
talk about, everybody talks about like the Attitude Era or this and that, and to me, this time to be a wrestling fan is great. Like it feels kind of like the territorial days in a way, like with the crossovers with like WWE, TNA, AEW, New Japan, like all that kind of stuff. And there's a lot more wrestling fans now than it was, in my opinion, than years
No,
ago.
sure, sure. And I mean, a big driving force in that is WWE and the whole merger with TKO, and then just how they have taken that into this whole thing. WWE had always been like the global entity, the global leader when it comes to pro
Correct.
wrestling. There's Nobody can touch them for a while. Nobody's gonna be able to touch them unless something drastic happens that they completely screw up. Nobody's gonna be able to touch them for a while, especially now with everything that they're doing. But there are so many alternatives, and this is what's nice about it. And because again, I go back to the social media, because of the YouTube, the all these platforms. If you don't like vanilla ice cream, you can also get strawberry. You can get mint. You can get all these
Yeah.
different types of flavors, and then you get whatever you like. So yeah, there's so many different variations of whatever that you may like in the name of professional wrestling. So if you don't like this, you can always check this out, and if you don't like that, you can always check that out. And if you like both, then awesome, check them both out. Um, so yeah, there's so much variety out there, and there's so many places for the guys to get work and make a living off of it. And it's not just WWE. But then to go back into your point of like the golden era or the attitude era, I don't think anybody at that time knew that that era was going to be what it was until after it passed.
Right.
So we may be in a I think a lot of people, yeah, they're enjoying it, but
Yeah.
until the next set comes in the next, I don't know, let's say 10 years, they're not gonna look back at this time and be like, yeah, that was a great time because there was a boom in
Yeah.
professional wrestling. So just like I'm sure when, like I said, during that Attitude Era, people that were living in at the time, I don't think they knew it was going to be as big as it was until afterwards.
All right. Let,
But
let's let's go back. All right. So, what lessons did you learn from WWE that now you bring into 3LW? Like anything
oh
specific?
man,
I know you promoted and doing all that kind of stuff.
that is such a big, and this is something I can go off and on and on and on. Um, for the last 2 years that I've been here with the students, there's been I think three of them that have been with me basically since the beginning, and I still haven't gotten to teaching them everything that I learned at WWE. There's so much that was shown, and I'm very grateful that it wasn't just a matter of me hearing things. I was listening. I wasn't just seeing. I was observing. I wasn't just uh, I wasn't there to just talk back. I was there to understand. Um, and there was so much information that was processed, and it's still from time to time I go back and I'm like, oh, because I experienced something, and I think that's what they meant. And I'm very grateful for the teachers that I had, the mentors, the producers that I had, in not only in FCW, because my main trainers in FCW were Norman Smiley and Ricky Steamboat. Those are my trainers, right? So just again, just in that alone, and then in
Who
WWE
are they?
on the main roster, the main people that I learned from on the producing side, Arn Anderson, William Regal, Dean Malenko, Jamie Noble. Those are like my main ones that Alberta and I were just constantly with. And then obviously you have Triple H or Michael Hayes or Vince McMahon that were giving you information and feedback, and then that's just to name the actual non wrestlers that we were working with.
Yeah.
Then you go into who we were working with from the very beginning. Our very first feud was with Rey Mysterio, so we got to learn from Ray. And then our second one was Christian, Edge, Kane, um, and then came in CM Punk, John Cena. Those are our main feuds. Randy Orton, and those are people that we got to learn from. Like we were just thrown in, and we're like, all right. They're like, all right, go figure it out. You're gonna get this. And sure enough, we did our best. So there was a lot of information. That was a lot of information that was brought in, and I try my best to relay that message to the students. It doesn't make sense to them at certain points because this is what happened to me. And until they experience a situation that they're going to be like, oh, that's what coach was talking about.
Yep.
And the best way I can explain it is remember when we were kids and our parents would tell us something and then we were like, man, you're old. You don't understand. You don't get it. And then we get to, when something happens, we're like, yep, that's what they were
Uh
talking
huh. You know what? I very, very vividly remember the first time that I did that. Oh my god, I sound like my parents type
about.
deal.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but yeah, no, I totally get what you're saying. When you're in this business and you're young, everything they tell you, you should be like a sponge, and take that in. There's a lot of talent out there, and including like myself, even when I was starting, and I was nowhere near any type of capacity, but I was like, man, I got this. I
Mhm.
got this. I know what I'm doing. I know
Well,
what
yeah,
I'm
I know,
doing.
I know, I know, I know. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
So,
Well, if you know, why
so
aren't you doing it?
yeah, you had that opportunity to learn like from guys like you said, Norman Smiling, Ricky Steamboat. Ricky Steamboat was one of the greatest of all time, in my opinion. I actually put Ricky Steamboat. I actually was asked not that long ago, like who were my top five.
I'm gonna show you like my little wall up here of my coaches. Right. So Regal, my main trainer was the guy in the middle with the mask.
Yeah.
Steamboat Smiley Gangro was my trainer before I got signed. And then D Malenko is next to Regal. Those are my main
Yeah.
guys.
So you
So
you had a who's who who were your trainers. So yeah. So again, you being a coach, I will be paying attention. Like everybody should be paying attention because you had a who's who that actually taught you the business.
and like I think, and this is where I'm gonna blow myself up a little bit. It's not necessarily also to who my coaches were. It's also where I've been, how I lost it, and then how I'm getting it back up. Um, the the beautiful art of finding yourself and finding humility is a very powerful one, and experiencing gratitude, because I was up there and I lost it all, uh, and now we're rebuilding, and we have to show gratitude. We have to show humility that at any point all this could be gone.
Yeah.
Uh, the biggest thing, well, there's one of many things I constantly tell the kids is like, yeah, you guys are good, but you ain't shit. You ain't anything. Um, there's people that are always gonna be better than you. So you may think you're good, but like no, it could all be gone like that. And then what? Um, so yeah, it's just humility, gratitude, experiencing gratitude, sharing gratitude, um, and then understanding that all this could be gone. And I don't wish injury on anybody, but we've seen it many times where somebody was on the upswing, and then an injury happens, and then that's it. They're done. And then what? Um, so that ego, that cockiness, yeah, throw that out the door, man, because it could all be gone. And then what?
It exactly. It's being humble. Being humble can take you so much better places than that cockiness and all that stuff. But yeah, I wasn't even thinking about this, but now that I am, now that you say where you've been and all that stuff, your first WrestleMania was 27, right?
Yeah, in Atlanta.
In Atlanta. That was my first WrestleMania that I ever attended to. You
Nice,
were the
nice.
you were in the main event, my man.
The
Yes, first match
opening
is still the
match.
main event. Opening
Yeah,
match was that still the
the
main event?
So what was cool about that one was, at least on the DVD, I don't remember, like I remember the day of obviously, but I don't remember like what all was before we went up. But at least on the DVD, it was The Rock, I mean the national anthem, The Rock who does his promo, and then us.
Yeah.
So aside from The Rock, we were the opening, we were the first things that they saw, first action that they saw of the
Huh?
night, and it was Edge versus Alberto for the heavyweight championship. So that was cool, and that was also I think the same year that Alberto won the Royal Rumble,
Yeah.
um, and that's how we got into WrestleMania. But that was such an awesome experience, man. The Georgia Dome, however many 60,000, 70,000 people were there, however it
Yeah.
was, it's unreal, unreal. And then to be in there with uh, Edge and Christian, that was cool. Um,
Yeah.
I've shared it in the past where one of the main reasons why I got into American wrestling was the TLC match with Edge and Christian, Hardy Boys, and the Dudleys. And it was that one spot where Jeff was hanging from the titles,
Yeah.
and then Edge speared him. That spot is what made me go, I want to do this. I want to try this. And then,
That is a good match.
yeah, and then that sucked me into American wrestling.
Let me ask you. If you said this before, I do apologize. But did you work for AAA?
So in the past, I had done like little bot shows,
Okay.
when they were coming to like the border cities, because
Okay.
I'm from Los Angeles, and so like the border towns are Tijuana.
Yeah.
What are the other ones that we used to go to? There was a couple other ones that we would drive over to. So I did two. I did two AAA bot shows, um, and way before WWE, but they were. It's hard to a lot of folks. It's gonna be a little hard to explain. So it wasn't a AAA going in. It was somebody bought the franchise for that show. So they bought the show from AAA. So they
Okay.
had AAA wrestlers. They had like the AAA banner, but it wasn't a full on AAA show.
It wasn't a
Uh,
AAA show. Yeah.
but it was a
I'm
triple. It
aware of
was
that.
weird. It wasn't a
Yeah.
AAA show. It was a AAA show.
Yeah.
And then I actually did do AAA, when I left WWE. It was myself. It was Alberto wrestling Tejano. Yeah, yeah. It was Alberto wrestling Tejano in it was like a lasso match or whatever. And then I did a run in, and Perro Aguayo Jr. was still alive, and I did a spot with Perrito Aguayo, where I did a tope on him. So that was kind of cool. So that was an actual AAA show. So I
Los
did that
Perros
one.
del Mal.
Yeah, yeah.
Los Perros del Mal. What do you think about WWE pretty much now owning AAA?
Uh, it's interesting. It's definitely interesting. Um, I know they're gonna WWE it in a way of they're gonna format it a little bit differently. my fear and what I hope is that they don't stray away from lucha libre. Uh, that's where I hope they don't. Only because if it does, then I feel like the fans might turn on it.
Yeah.
So I because the Mexicanos, man, we're loyal to our T, um, and I just hope they don't stray away too much from lucha, because we saw it in at Three Mania. There was two matches that they WWE did, and the crowd wasn't too into it. And there was one where they just completely did what AAA does normally, and the crowd was super into it.
Yeah.
Um, so we'll see what happens. I obviously I wish them the best of luck. I would love to be a part of it. I would love for the opportunity if they ever give us, for myself and Alberto, to be a part of it. You can hear the audience. You can, I mean, if you were watching people out before this purchase, you knew where Alberto was and what he was doing for the company and how he revived it. You can't
Yeah.
deny what he was doing for the company.
You
And it
really
was
can.
Alberto, right? It was all Alberto. The sellouts, the fan attention, the getting news outlets to actually pay attention to AAA again. Um, that was Alberto. So so
So
yes, yeah. Go ahead.
no, go ahead, go ahead.
No, I just hope that we get the opportunity to
That
do.
would be phenomenal because to be honest, you can even hear it, even though they try to block it and so much.
Yeah, no, you
They
can hear it.
couldn't.
And
You can
even
hear
even
it.
Ray acknowledged it.
Yeah. Thank you. So you had the same reaction that every person that I've asked about this question. You know, what do they think? And they're like, it's okay, just don't change it. Don't try to go out there and change it because AAA, like, I don't get to watch it as much now as I
Mm,
used to when I lived in Jersey because larger Spanish community and everything like that. So they
yeah.
actually get that on TV. But it, that's what makes it different from the product here in the United States, and it is great. I was there live and on the SmackDown before SummerSlam, and the reaction that Mr. Iguana and Psycho Clown
Oh yeah.
got was
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, you can tell, the Latino community is here. It was in Newark, so it was great. All right, one more question, and I'm gonna let you go. What's the best way for fans to contact you and three LW?
So definitely the Facebook. That's We're more active on Facebook. So Three Legacies Wrestling, spell it all out. Three Legacies Wrestling. Definitely check out the YouTube. That's our big thing. Check out our YouTube. Same thing. Three Legacies Wrestling. We do have a lot of free content. We have our Ascend brand, which is our NXT, and that's more like the studio shows where they're kind of getting reps and trying to learn working the TV style, but also too at the same time just getting them reps. And then so that's the Ascend brand. So if you see Ascend, that's what that is. That's our NXT. Um, but our main shows, we have a couple free shows up there, and then we have a lot of like the older stuff, the bigger stuff too. Again, 99 cents a month. It's not a lot, and it helps us out and it keeps us moving. It keeps us, as you know, also that you're running a business as well too. Um, so it's kind of like a mini sponsorship basically that helps out in the long run.
Anything helps. Anything helps.
Anything helps. Anything helps.
Anything
So
helps.
yeah, Legacies Wrestling is where you can check us out. I'm very active on the Facebook and on the Instagram. So, and I manage it. I run it. So uh, yeah, so you can always catch me there. I have taken a step back from my Ricardo Instagram and Facebook, because obviously the Three Legacies has taken over everything that I do. So yeah, you can kind of catch me more so on the Three Legacies Facebook and Instagram, at YouTube.
All right, my man, my man. So one last plug.
Absolutely. So check us out on September 6th as Three Legacies Wrestling presents the Red Rose Rumble 3 from the Penn Medicine Park in beautiful Lancaster, PA. Check us out at 3lwtix.com or at the lancasterstormers.com. Get your tickets there, family friendly. Tickets as low as $15 and special meet and greets. Doors open at 5:30 and show starts at 7.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I'm gonna be there. I know a few of my buddies are gonna be there. Please, let's go and support wrestling because wrestling is the greatest thing in the world. At least it is to me.
Absolutely.
All right,
Absolutely.
guys. Thank you so much, Ricardo. Un placer. Thank you so much for being here today with us
De
tonight.
nada.
All right.
Claro.